Hey, what's going on, everybody? Let's look at the camera. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Should I be up more? Nah, it's fine. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Devo here. And... strong start, rapidly went downhill. Let's try this again. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Devo here. And today, I just want to go through some maybe I should work up a script from now on. Yeah, I probably won't. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Devo here. And today, I just want to show you some of my favorite... they're not really shortcuts, they're not really tricks, just little things you can do in Photoshop that may help speed up your workflow. That's nothing special by any means, but these are things that a lot of people just simply don't know you can do in there. So let's just go ahead and dive right in and check these out. So first of all, we're just going to take a look at Adobe Camera Raw. It's technically its own program, but it's integrated within things like Photoshop, Lightroom. I'm pretty sure Lightroom. I don't use Lightroom all that much. I don't remember. We'll say it is for the sake of argument, but I know for sure it's integrated in Photoshop. If you have a RAW file and you want to open it in Photoshop, it's going to default by opening in Camera Raw first, and then you can open it up in Photoshop if you want to do some more edits after that. Now, one thing is your white balance. You have these sliders over here. You can just grab these and start moving these around to make it warmer, cooler, make it more magenta or more green. Pretty basic, right? Now, this trick is something that I absolutely love. Sometimes it takes a little bit of fine-tuning afterwards, but for the most part, you can just hold Shift, click on a white area, and there you go. Set your white balance for you. It makes that part white and everything else, well, different compared to that. So I mean, you can click on any spot you want to and just change it up. But yeah, if you want this, because now it looks a little pink, click on that. Oh, now it's white. Check that out. Pretty cool, right? Okay, but we're not going to do a full edit on this, so I'm just going to say done. We don't need that anymore. And we're gonna go ahead and jump into Photoshop itself. Actually, you know what? I lied. We are gonna do some stuff with this. So let's just modify this a little bit just to help me see better. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna change any of the rest of the stuff on it. So one trick that I love is just to zoom. I mean, you can hold Control or Command and hit, plus or minus to zoom in or out. Or you just go hit Z to go over here to your magnifying glass, and you can click, or you can click and drag, and that's all fine and dandy. But if you hold Alt or Option and then scroll in and scroll out with your mouse or your, well, I say your trackpad, but you can just pinch and zoom with most trackpads. But you hold Alt and zoom in, or scroll up, scroll down, that zooms in and out for you. And I use that a lot. It helps me out quite a bit. And then if you want to get back to normal, you're zoomed in really far, you want to see what you've done, hold Control or Command, hit 0, and that puts everything full screen. The picture itself, it really doesn't look too bad. I'm not upset with the composition. It was more or less a snapshot, but I took this picture with this composition for a reason as well, so I enjoy it. But that doesn't mean there can't be things that we can fix on it. So what we can do, simply go up to Image, Analysis, Ruler Tool. And this thing is awesome. Now, this isn't supposed to be straight, but we'll say for the sake of argument, this is your horizon line. You click and drag across there. I'm going to full screen that. And then afterwards, you go to Image, Image Rotation, Arbitrary. click on it and just click OK. And it straightens it out. That's perfectly flat now. And then you can crop it to get rid of these edges over here. And if you do landscape photography, is a great example where this would come in handy. Or architectural, you could probably do it with that if you want a nice square composition in your buildings. This is where it's at. And the cool thing about it is, I'll just do whatever angle, it doesn't matter. Your angle right here, it's reading this. So it automatically puts it in for you. That's why when you click on it, all you have to do is say okay, and that's it. It's fantastic. Let's move on to tip number 3, 4, 3, 4. Let's move on to the next tip. We're gonna open up this image that I did for Bored to Death Games with the lovely Shelby. Was a fantastic model. It's not just that she took direction well, she just knew what to do. I'm going off topic, but she made life easy and it was an amazing photo shoot. The reason I wanted to open up this one is because I have a lot of stuff happening here, and it's some great examples on why these next tips that I'm going to show you are important. To me anyways. It's subjective, to each their own. Now sometimes when you're working with so many layers, it's nice to remember where you started from so you can see the comparison, see how far you've gone, and sometimes that will help you realize that you've gone too far. You need to rein it in, pull it back, just pump those brakes and just say, oh, maybe I should stop. This is a good stopping point. I'll say the picture is complete now. And the trick is to hold Alt or Option and then click on your little eyeball here. And that will hide every other layer except for that one. And then you just push or hold Alt or Option again, and then click on that eyeball again, and it turns everything on that was already on. Love it. And now for my final tip is don't delete anything. Always work non-destructively. Now what I mean by that is, obviously there's not real fire here. She's not really making a tray float. I mean, this was the original picture right there. So we had to bring in the tray somehow. I could have taken a picture at home and just imported it in afterwards, but I really didn't want to. So what I'm gonna do is, let's go ahead and delete that layer mask right there. And now we can see that it was Jeremy from Bored to Death Games. He was my assistant for the day. He did very well. Anyways, we can see that he is holding the rolling tray while Shelby's pretending to levitate it. We took 2 images, one with him holding it, one with him not holding it. So that way all we'd have to do is delete around the tray. The background was still the same because this is one of the few times that I used a tripod. And that way the lighting was still similar, and just, it made it way easier, and it actually looks better. It looks more realistic. But the way I did it, instead of deleting, is I make sure to make this layer active, click on Layer Mask, make sure my foreground color is black, push B for brush, and I can just go ahead and brush away. And just go ahead and get rid of him there. And now she's levitating a tray. Pretty cool, huh? And so let's just go in here and get some of the little details done. Just to show you some examples on why this is a better method than deleting. Uh-oh. I just erased part of the tray. I needed that for the picture. No problem. Simply push X. This will swap my foreground color to white. And all I do now, as long as I make sure that layer mask is on, I paint it right back. You see that? Black will get rid of it. White will bring it back. And that's why layer masks are absolutely fantastic. And if you don't want that mask anymore, you're done, you're happy with how it is, you just simply right click, apply layer mask, and then that's how the layer is now. Easy. And you know what? I said this was my final tip, but I got one more for you now that I'm thinking about it. When working in a layer mask, if you know that you need to delete everything except for this tray. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we have the tray. We want everything around it to be deleted, including Shelby, because you have more of the natural light on her. You can see it right there in her arms. And the more that you delete, the overall better it's going to look, just because, you know, people don't stay perfectly still. And now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, hey, I think it looks good. I might notice something later. Somebody else might notice something. So the only way to make sure is you go over to where your mask is, hold Alt or Option, click on it. And now what I can see here is that this is the tray. Around here is where I outlined it, and everything else that is white, I can get rid of. I just paint over it with black. And now the only thing left is that tray. Hold Alt or Option, click that mask, and brings it back. Does it get much better than that, really? I don't know, probably not. So, these are just a few tips that I have for you that will hopefully speed up your workflow, and if nothing else, just make life a little bit easier when working on a photo in Photoshop. Or maybe you won't use these at all. Maybe these don't make sense to you. They just seem like a waste of time, and maybe they'll make it take longer. In that case, cool, you found a good method. Awesome. But that's all that I have for you today. So remember, keep creating. Never stop. The weekend's upon us, so hope everybody enjoys themselves. And I sound like I'm going somewhere with this, but I'm not. I'm just working on a closing, and I can't think of the right words. So how about I just say, I'll see you later. Cheers.